the protocol. Ideogram probes. Page 1A colon Greg, or name colon time colon. Now, as we write time, we're going to take a moment to realize where we are. I'm here and now. And I say those words to myself. I'm aware briefly where I am and what I'm doing. I am here and now. I write H following time. I am here and now. Line from right to left across the top of the page. Target ID. Everything above this line is administrative. When we go below the line, we start to go into remote viewing. Okay, so there's a legend that comes with this, and I have found, for me personally, the best thing for me to do at this point is to start to build the legend in. So before I go any further, probe legend, baseline, intermediate, advanced. And we repeat this 3 times on the page. Intermediate, advanced, probe legend, baseline, intermediate, advanced, and we'll explain each of these as we go through. For now, I'm just showing how I work through this exercise. So what I've done is, administrative above the line is complete. I have my legend on the page. PL, probe legend, B, baseline, I, intermediate, A, advanced. This leads me into the questions that I asked, that I then probe and gather data to record what I'm getting about this target. So next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to start to go in to review the target. And what I do is, now that I have the legend written down, write target ID. As I go in to view the target ID, I notice that there's a buildup of energy in my arm, and I express this in a spontaneous movement of the stylus or pen on the paper. And then we'll gather more information from there. So, target ID. Going in, looking at target, feel the energy build up, and I just depict a graphic representation there. So now I'm going to go into the legend. So probe legend determines the nature of the target. And I ask here, PL, is it simplex or complex? I probe with my pen on the line that I just drew, simplex or complex. Ask the query, this is complex. Record the answer here. Move on. Baseline. So this is the physical theme. This is soft. Yeah, and I'm getting some other stuff there, but I'm just going to record soft for now. This isn't a large live target for me. So intermediate is the next one. Intermediate, there's 3 options. Is the target man-made, natural, or artificial? And this is what I query as I probe. Intermediate, and I get man-made. So I record man-made. Advanced is the last. The state of the target. Is it static or dynamic? When I probe, I query, what is the state of this target? What is the state of this target? Static or dynamic? This one is dynamic. I have now answered for this target ID, this ideogram I have extracted through probing the data that I want there. I stop signal line. I'm going to now go and repeat this 2 more times. So I've done this 3 times on one page. Each time I do it, I'm going to record target ID again on the top of the page. So I'll just go through and finish the rest here, and I'll kind of talk my way through as I go. Target ID repeats again. Remote view. Feel the energy build up in my hand. Graphic representation of what was there. What is the nature of the target? Complex. What is the theme of the target? Soft. These don't have to match your previous probe. You should not be comparing data. You just go in and gather the information that you have, record it, move on. No time for analysis, no time for thinking your way through and checking your own work. Just follow the flow of information. Intermediate. Is this target man-made, natural, or artificial? Man-made. And advanced. Is it static or dynamic? Dynamic. I have satisfied everything I needed to do there. I stopped the signal line again. I'm going to repeat one more time on the bottom of the page. Good target. Ideogram. Probe legend. What is the nature of the target? Simplex or complex? Complex. Is the baseline of the target? Soft. Intermediate. Man-made, natural, or artificial? This is man-made. Man-made. Advanced. Is it simplex or complex? Is it static or dynamic? Simplex or complex? Advanced. Static or dynamic? Dynamic. Stop the signal line. So now we've repeated this 3 times on the page. We've stopped the signal line each time. We went in 3 separate times and we collected data following the legend in each case. So this is low-level target data that was impregnated in that ideogram that we're now gathering out. And it's important, don't take any time to think about what you're doing or second-guess what's happening. Calm the mind, look at blackboard, allow the energy build up in your hand, express that energy build up. Then go into the table, ask your queries. Simplex or complex? What is the target made up of? Man-made, natural, or artificial? And advanced, is it static or dynamic? And stop the signal line, move on to the next, repeat 3 times on one page, and that's the protocol. So from here we'll go through some examples. First I'm going to recap. It's a 3-step process. We query, we probe, we record. It's that simple. Query, ask the question, probe, record. We probably spend 1.5 seconds with each of the 3 sets in whiteboard collecting data. We also spent about 1.5 seconds in gathering the energy that was expressed in the ideogram that we then probe. So our pen is the stylus and we use the stylus to probe. And the analyst may look at your work to see how your probing happened along that ideogram that you had drawn. So, you know, I'm touching the pen to this ideogram as I go in to query, to collect the data, and then record what I found. I move through it fairly quickly, and that's the best way to handle it, because that way you don't have time to second guess everything that's going on. So for more of an explanation on the table, probe legend, baseline, intermediate, advanced. So what makes a target simplex? Not a lot of movement, not a lot of entities or textures or structures or obstacles. You know, it's there's not a lot happening. It's simple to capture what's happening. Sometimes in a complex target, you might feel a sense or have a sense of movement and motion. Often a simplex target will be still, not a lot of things moving around, not a lot of different components to it. Then we go into baseline. There are around 8 to 9 initial possible answers that we can obtain, and we're going to work with in baseline. We obtain all of this information from from our subconscious by probing our ideogram, querying and recording the data. So the possibilities that are available to us at this time in baseline include hard, semi-hard, soft, semi-soft, pliable, flexible, mushy, wet, or gaseous. So you might want to build yourself a cheat sheet just so you have these options there. The first few times you go through, you can refer to your cheat sheet and know what the options are that you can select from, and one of them will stand out for you as you probe or after you probe, and that's the one that you record and move on. So the query in baseline should really be around how do you feel, what do you feel, what is the dominant Now we drop below baseline, we have intermediate. We're going to probe, query, probe, record the information. The query that we're going to ask is, how is this target formed, or who or what formed this target? And there's only three choices that we can use here. It's either man-made, natural, or artificial. So man-made, anything constructed by man. This was a blank target, I got man-made each time I went through. Natural, anything made by nature, like anything behind me. And artificial, anything made by other than man. This could be beaver dam, a bird's nest, extraterrestrial formation, crop circle, anything like that. So that's intermediate. And finally, we have advanced. And the query for advanced is, what is the state of the target? And there's two options here, static or dynamic. When you probe the spawnid, you'll get a sense with this query. What is the state of the target? Probe. You'll get a sense of static or dynamic. In this case, in the one I'm doing, blank target ID, it's going to move around, could be anything here. Every time I look, it came up dynamic each time. So you just record that impression. What did you get? You may get, oh, it's static, and just know it's static. Or get an impression that nothing is changing here, no movement, this is static. And each time after you're done, probe legend, baseline, intermediate, advanced, you stop the signal line, and then once you repeated all three, stop the signal line one last time, and you're complete with ideogram probes. And I'll add a few examples to the video just so you can see how some information was interpreted by other viewers. So you will have in this the template, the legend to follow, and this video to use as a guide. So the queries, when you go in, probe legend queries, is it simplex or complex? Probe, get the impression, record the data. Baseline, dominant texture of this target. Probe, get the impression, it's soft, record that, move on. Intermediate, who or what formed this target? Probe, get your impression, record man-made or whatever it happens to be, move on. The advanced, what is the state of this target? Probe, record, dynamic, move on, stop the signal line, and repeat 3 times. Okay, that's all.